Today I want to talk about the magic of Ayahuasca Icaros. The Icaros are the songs that are sung in ceremony in support of matching the vibration of the medicine. So these songs very much are like elements of technology. They all have a different vibration with different intents and purposes. And the process of getting to learn them, it's not just about learning words or meanings of words, but about learning the intention behind them, the vibration, and singing them in a way that matches what you feel like the space needs as a practitioner leading a ceremony. So they're really amazing components to the ceremony. And I know there are retreats out there that do ceremonies without the Icaros, that just literally put on a playlist. And while the medicine is still magical, no matter what, there is nothing like sitting with someone who is trained to sing these ancient songs and to be present in the moment with the energies of the space and to allow the music to come through to honor that. So the Icaros are, in some cases, thousands of years old. We know of at least 4,000 years of recorded history of usage of ayahuasca in a ceremonial setting, and it's quite possible it's been a heck of a lot longer than that. But these songs themselves, I mean, we know that they've been always incorporated with the experience of ceremony because they are a core component of how the facilitator essentially conducts the energy of the space. So the songs, they come from essentially a portal, a place in consciousness where the songs are stored. And quite typically a practitioner or somebody on the path, they tap into this portal through the experience of a master plant diet, which is an experience where you merge with the consciousness of a plant for a period of time. And the songs kind of represent the vibration of and the language of the plants themselves. So the songs come from the plants always, and they hold the signature of the plant that they come from. For example, I recently dieted coca, and I received an original song, which happens sometimes, from her, that when I sing it, I am so overwhelmed with the beautiful vibration that she carries. It's so palpable, and she knows I'm singing it to her. I use her name in it at times, and it's just a beautiful way to honor, first of all, the gifts of the medicine that we diet, and also to bring them into the space and ask them for their help in whatever it is that we witness our tribe is working with. The Icaros are different than medicine songs. I want to make that distinction because the Icaros themselves are the technology that really helped to operate the space, meaning that some of the songs, for example, they help bring upon a purge. They move energy so strongly that it becomes physical and tangible to people who are listening to the vibration. And the beautiful thing about this is typically the people in the space, it's not as if they speak the languages that these songs are sung in, but they understand the vibration and they respond. So for example, for singing about crying, the space may light up in tears. And it's not as if people understand the words exactly, but they feel it. And it's so magical that way. I want to mention the languages before I make the difference between the medicine songs and the Icaros. So the Icaros are in languages that are from, obviously, the indigenous tribes in the jungle, the people that have protected this practice for all of this time. The most common languages are Shipibo, from the Shipibo tribe, who are one of the godfathers and godmothers of this process. It happens to be the lineage that I am lucky to have been trained in and to carry. There's also a lot of songs in Quechua, various dialects of Quechua. So Quechua is a language that's spoken all the way from the jungle up to the tops of the Andes. And so there are at least, I know of at least 26 or 27 different versions or dialects of Quechua. So many of the Icaros are in those languages, and of course they're in Spanish as well. Typically, though, the songs in Spanish and English or mantras in different languages, those are what we classify as these medicine songs. So the difference between the two is the medicine songs hold just the sweet messages and vibrations, but they don't hold the same technology, intensity, and power, really, that the Icaros can hold. So the way a ceremony often flows is that the practitioner will start with the Icaros that call in all of the helper spirits. So everything from the plants that we've dieted and that we work with or that we consider allies, all the way up to our ancestors and our archangels, our animal totems, like all the beings that we ask for support for the process of healing and awakening that's occurring in the space. So we do that, and of course we can do that all throughout the ceremony, but typically start with that. Or typically we start with a song for protection, an arcana or an Icaro that is specifically about asking these guides, these helpers, and the energies of the plants to create a big, beautiful cocoon of protection and light and love so that we all feel safe surrendering into that space and doing our work. And then as the night progresses, what a good practitioner does is they really just feel into what the space needs. So sometimes the space will need an Icaro that is about singing to the darkness, which is always an interesting experience. And some of these songs sing to the darkness and ask it to leave, basically identifying of I see you, there's the door. And sometimes it's I see you, I ask you for your help. So there are songs that essentially partner with dark energies or vibrations in order to support the shadow work that's happening in the space. These are the songs that typically we learn last because they're so powerful and they can be used in manipulative ways. So practitioners that hold these mysterious Icaros, they're very protective of them and only let people who are really deeply ingrained in the path to learn them and to use them. Many of these songs are never to be recorded. At least that's what was asked of me by my teachers, is you get to use these when you deem them appropriate, but never ever record them, because out of the context of the intention and the awareness of the space, they can be used for harm, because the word is powerful. I mean, we know all words, language is integral to all elements of magic, all spaces of mysticism. Even in the Bible, the word of God is what created the world. So language is powerful, and when you combine that with the vibration of the Icaros, it's even more potent. So we're very careful with these, especially in who we pass them down to and when we use them, of course. But when we use them and we need them, utterly magical. I will never stop being in awe of how well they work when I'm coming from my heart, when I'm aligned with the meaning and the vibration of the song. Whereas medicine songs, those often are brought in towards the last third or so of the ceremony, because they're there to support the process and to uplift people, but they don't have the same kind of specific function and power that the Icaros do. This tapestry behind me is relevant to the conversation about these amazing songs, because that pattern, which is the traditional Shipibo pattern, that you see all of those lines that are interconnected, they mean many things, but one of the meanings is they represent the physical manifestation of the vibration of the Icaros. So that's what the songs look like when we see them light up what we call the grid, which is the energy grid that is prevalent over the whole space that ayahuasca helps us to tap into, specifically chakruna. So that pattern represents the grid that we work with the medicine, but it also represents the vibration and the interconnectedness of the songs, the Icaros. My teacher, for example, he's one of the most magical singers of these songs. His connection to them and the vibration of his voice is just unparalleled. He can do that kind of circular breathing where he can sing in and out quite often, which means it feels like this continuous line of this intense magical Shipibo language in particular, and it's unforgettable if you've ever been on the receiving end of that kind of transmission. So that tapestry, among many other things, pays homage to the power and the beauty of these songs. You can find some Icaros on things like iTunes and Spotify. And those are typically, the songs that we use to call in all the benevolent spirits and the things that have that really light-filled vibration. Very rarely do I come across a recording of an Icaro that's used for the doctoring, the pulling out energy, the darkness that I mentioned, because again, those shouldn't be recorded. And when they are, they have a way of sort of disappearing, because the medicine sometimes protects that element of her work. So that's just a little bit of insight about the beauty of these Icaros. If you have questions, please leave comments below. Please follow, because I'm putting out lots more of these videos because people are so curious about this process, and I'm so honored to share. My name is Kat Courtney. I'm the Afterlife Coach. You can visit me at afterlife.coach or email me at kat@afterlife.coach. I send you much love and pleasant journeys. Until next time.